I guess you can derelict my balls.
It's dumb.
Hello and welcome to Strange Conversation, where we talk about dumb things and all kinds of other weird random news. Now, we've had another casualty this week, so Brent Metcalf will not be attending. However, on my
Fatality.
I'm sorry.
left is,
Mark Blower.
am I right?
Handsome John Pettit.
And I'm Dylan Snott, and every single week we like to bring you some topics as well as a little section where we cover the news, some important things, and some interesting stuff, and a section we call
The important.
the important. It gets more scattered every single week.
Well, you changed the tempo, to be fair. It's your fault.
You were trying to do this giant build-up to it like it was going to be different this week, and I was going to be like, nah, I got to ruin it now. He keeps going.
Anywho, this week we wanted to bring you a bunch of random news, and the first bit of news we want to talk about is, have you ever gotten random phone calls like I have all of last weekend? Because for some odd reason, I get calls when there's an emergency in my area to ensure that I'm safe, and it's from spam, which is weird. But Mark wanted to talk to us about a little about spammy phone calls.
Yep. So there's a company called First Orion that actually does a lot of call filtering and call statistics and things like that for a lot of the major companies, such as Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, and a few others.
They land plans on the moon too, right?
Yep.
Same thing.
But basically the company has done calculations based on the number of spam calls that you get anyway, or marketing calls, especially with the number spoofing thing that's been going on, where you get a phone call where the first 6 digits of your phone number is matched up. Basically, the number shot up from 3.7% of calls being, spam calls last year to this year. The number has spiked up to like 29% or 31%. Like a significant chunk of the phone calls that you receive are actually spam calls.
100%.
And not from like 800 numbers or anything like that. No. Like these spoof calls.
Yeah.
So the predicted increase anyway for next year, based on the number of companies I'm assuming that are continuing to invest in this spam call mechanism, is going to be about 49% by next year.
Yeah, I have no doubt on this at all, because I feel like for the first 10 years of me having a cell phone, I got calls from my family members and the occasional random call from someone else.
Yep.
And then this year I feel like I've gotten 2 to 3 calls a day of nothing but spam.
Yep.
Yeah.
No. It's gotten to the point now where I don't even really answer a phone call unless I have the phone number.
It's
100%.
the same people, too. They're like, and I'm like, stop calling me. I keep telling you no. I even was rude one time.
Yep.
Like, stop.
Actually, my mom had gotten a phone call back from somebody else who had received a phone call with the first 6 digits matching, because she got a call from like an 828-302 number. That was really, you might want to bleep that out. But no, she got a number from like matching the first 6 digits like that, and then somebody else had actually called her back because they spoofed her number to call this other guy, and he called her back basically on the phone number. Is like, well, I don't understand why you call me, blah blah blah. Like making threats and a lot of bad
What's
stuff.
interesting is I just looked, and out of my last 15 calls, 9 of them have been from spammy numbers. Wow. Out of my last 15 calls.
That's impressive.
They also could have stacked as well, so like if they called multiple times with the same number in a row, they just stack. So more than 9 in the last 15. Last unique 15 numbers, 9 of them were spam. That's how my life is. It's terrible. I hate it, and I don't know what list I'm on, but please take me off of it.
Yep. I'm hoping that the FCC figures out something by next year, because, I mean, this is illegal.
It's got to be harassment.
Would the
at the
FCC
very
not
least.
let you be?
Try to shut them down on MTV.
Exactly. Speaking of shutting down, there was a weird little random issue many years ago that very few of you will probably remember unless you have an a-hole friend like me, and that is that you could take a very specific character and send it to anyone with an iPhone, and their whole iPhone would shut down.
Yeah.
Well, it seems that's not gone away yet.
No, and actually, better yet, it's done on a much more massive scale. So the link actually that I included in there said that it was only for iOS devices. Essentially what it is, it's a CSS tag for a background filter using WebKit, which is a CSS handler processor, basically, for HTML and CSS.
Handles things.
Safari, Chrome, and a few other things. Chrome is not affected by this, but Safari is, and the Safari core WebKit core, anyway, that's used is used on every iOS device and every macOS device that uses Safari. I found out, actually, it's also an issue on Internet Explorer,
Nerds.
and Edge. So what happens is it actually if you configure it correctly, I'll say, it'll actually freeze up and occupy every single resource available in the in your display driver, causing your entire computer to freeze up.
I like it.
On iOS devices, it causes it to just hard crash and reset.
I like it.
That's better than freezing up, I guess.
Yeah, because there's no home button to press.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. I mean, you just have to press and hold a button, then press it again
Yeah,
to turn
at
it
least
back
I
on.
don't have to hold the button. That
Oh,
makes me
gosh.
want to
Yeah.
in anger, and then I'm abusing something I'm need to abuse.
Why does he got to go
Yeah,
to
no.
abuse?
But
Jesus.
I'm not even the most abusive person.
they're saying that the patch isn't going to take too long to do. But the problem is that both Microsoft and Apple have to release this patch at the same time.
It's very fascinating. The last time this happened, I remember I was working at Best Buy, and one of my roommates at the time was a big iPhone enthusiast. He still is. And I just got home from work, and we tested on a whole bunch of the phones at work just to watch them all break, because why not?
Yep.
And I get home, and I'm like, hey, roommate, I'm going to send you a text real quick. He's like, what are you doing? And then he looks at his phone,
Still,
and
he
it's
already knows
just
something's up.
restarting, and he's like, why's my phone restarting? I was like, don't open your text messages, buddy. Because every time that character would be shown on screen, it would reset the phone.
Yep.
And he couldn't clear that notification.
And that's
He couldn't
because
check
he
his
couldn't
messages.
read it, right? And so
Yeah.
it would crash.
Yep.
Yeah, so he then took my phone and sent him another message so that he could get to his messages to delete our conversation. He had a great time.
Ridiculous.
The next little bit of thing, we can just keep on the motion of the ocean of killing things here. And apparently next up in the chopping block is URLs, because, why do you need them? Why would you ever need them?
So the problem is that, and Google is actually looking to present a solution for this later this year.
Kill 'em.
So Google is trying to kill the URL because apparently URLs are too difficult for people to understand, and to the point that it sort of leaves a social engineering, I guess, loophole for attackers to get in. Basically, like if you have Facebook.com and ends up Facebook.com, you leave off an O or something like that because somebody misspells it. But then they just have to copy like the Facebook site or make it look even like remotely convincing, and somebody else will enter in their user credentials on there to steal your information.
My favorite one is always hyperlinks, where the hyperlink is like apple.com, but then
Yeah.
you actually hover it and it's like Vietnamese serial killers 27 at url.com.
It's just masked. That's all it is. But the idea is that URLs have become too obfuscated or too difficult for people to understand anyway, who are not really into tech and don't pay enough attention to that kind of thing. Like Google already made the first step with Chrome, and I talked about this probably about a month or two ago now, where Chrome actually removed the ability to specify that a site is secured, rather than like it would show you a notification that the site was secured. Now it actually tells you a notification that the site is not secured.
Yeah.
Specifically, because the expectation is now that certificates being as free and open as they are, that every website you go to should be secure and encrypted. But the
So what you're saying is I shouldn't have to type out HTTP or HTTPS.
you shouldn't have ever had to do that in the first place, to be
What if I
honest.
wanted to?
I mean, you can. There's
Exactly.
nothing wrong with it, except on Chrome it disappears.
What if you type in www, but you spell it DUBA dot?
Then it's not www.
Does George
That
W.
gives
Bush
me
come to me?
that gives me an interesting idea of how to set up a subdomain
That
for a
would be-
website and just make it a nice Easter egg. But
That would be
Yeah.
I'll
awesome.
get back to you on that one. No, but
George Bush everywhere.
Just going www.
Strategery.
so to me, this is interesting that actually Google's trying to get rid of these, just because I think like with Mozilla trying to go through an encrypted DNS or do encrypted DNS connections so that you can't actually track the URLs that you're using.
Yeah.
Because that's the only unsecure part of your connection, other than the initial connection that you make.
Unless you use a VPN.
Right, unless you use a VPN. But with Mozilla trying to do that, I think that was a good step in the direction of security. But if we get rid of URLs altogether, if we change up the system anyway to be more secure or go through a much more validated system, I think this is going to be a great route to go, just because it's going to remove this obfuscation that you can put in there for security loopholes.
I just want to note real quickly that when you said Facebook, I just watched a movie over the weekend called Crazy Rich Asians, and there's a lady in it who I believe is the son of the crazy Asian man from Hangover.
Hold on. You don't watch movies or TV shows, and that's the one you chose.
I just wanted to watch.
Crazy Rich Asian.
I just wanted to watch.
I
the
was
movie with my
extremely
girlfriend.
confused too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, anyway, there's a part in the movie where I don't even... Oh, yeah, they're talking about playing chicken. And this crazy... I'm going to put a video clip up now for you. Hopefully this doesn't get DCMA'd. But basically this crazy little... that she compares herself, or her dad does, to Ellen DeGeneres looking Asian chick. And she's hyperactive and crazy. And she's talking about playing chicken. She goes, "Buck, buck." And when you said face, "Buck," it made me think about it. I don't know why.
Here's a movie, Fight Club.
I've seen that.
Oh, thank God. There's one. You get a
Woo!
point.
Counts at 10.
Yeah,
Oh my
right.
gosh.
All time. The next little bit of news that we have is I found a really, really cool trailer. It's going to be down in the description below if you want to check it out. And it is for Borderlands. They basically made a mod kind of video weird thing for Borderlands. It is basically basing upon Superhot, which is a game that I think you
Super hot.
played Superhot. You're all right.
Downstairs.
And Mark
By
played for
downstairs,
more
I mean the
hours.
basement.
I literally played for like 3 hours straight.
Yeah, it's painful.
So easy.
It's really
Lost
fun.
track of reality. To be honest.
It was definitely an interesting take on Borderlands. It's one of those cool, weird little things where you're like, I think that if a lot of games had this mode in it, I'd give it a go.
See, I kind of like it because it changes up like the combat system I used to use or I guess it's still used in Fallout.
Yep.
Where like you're aiming at somebody, you mark them as a target, and then it like pauses the screen, and you say, "I want to put 2 shots here, and a shot here, and a shot here, and a shot here, and that kind of thing, or whatever," and it just kind of does it. Versus, I mean, the difference is you have to do it manually, but it's kind of like you just sort of stop looking at somebody, and it's like the whole scene freezes. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Tat 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 tat. Okay.
So this Borderlands mod is essentially Superhot VR with Borderlands graphics.
It's basically Borderlands, but the time stops off of movement.
You're right.
So when
It's not
you're
necessarily a VR
moving,
aspect.
Time
But
stops.
I'm about to say, if they did that, I would buy the freaking crap out of
They
that.
just did Borderlands VR. I'd buy it. I'm excited for Borderlands 3.
Yeah, whenever that
Yeah.
decides to come out.
Maybe. We could probably still get a
Ever.
job for you know.
Yeah.
They're probably still asking for people. Probably. But you know what it's probably going to come out for? It's probably going to come out for the PS5
Yeah,
like
when is that
next
going to
year.
happen?
next year.
Yeah, no? I'm sorry. We have a story on here that talks about why that's not going to happen, don't we?
We do. The relation to this is the Ps4 Pro. Well, this is a kind of a question we were discussing a little bit before air, and then I've been talking about it to my roommates and a couple other people over the weekend. The Ps4 Pro, it's kind of in a weird market now, right?
Yep.
Because let's be real, next PlayStation is coming out next year. So do you want to upgrade with a year left? Like, is it worth the $400 to $500 to get the Pro with a year left?
I did earlier this year,
Yep, so did I.
and I did specifically for the VR. Because I wanted to maximize what I
Yep.
could benefit from it. Because I bought the VR and I didn't get to utilize it all that much. Hadn't had time. A lot of good games came out this year. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
So
See,
but when I finally came to a lull, I was like, all right, well, I definitely want to utilize this. So it was worth the investment for me.
Yep, and I think I got it with the Mark doesn't have a PlayStation, so he's basically the
I'm
redheaded
just
stepchild
gonna
here.
sit here and watch.
He was one of the 5 we have.
Yeah. The interesting part for me is I didn't really have a need for it, and I didn't really care about the VR. So I was like, I don't really care. But then the God of War special version came out. I was thinking about getting it for Battlefront 2, but I didn't. God of War was coming out, and I was like, cool, I got a 4K TV, I got HDR. Like, I might as well play God of War, like, max capacity, right? Hopefully I'll get the use out of it. I played a ton, whatever. Put hundreds of hours on every Call of Duty, so I'll make up for it.
Yeah.
Call of Duty beta comes out, which leads into this article. Call of Duty beta comes out, and when my roommate, who has a regular PlayStation 4, and me with a Ps4 Pro are playing, when you load in a new Call of Duty, you got to choose your class. He doesn't even get to choose his class. The game starts. It takes him so long to load in. The game starts as soon as he loads in. Whereas I get to load in and choose my class and do everything.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Call of Duty Battle Royale, which has been tested last weekend, of like, I would load into the world, drop in, and be able to like, there's like a practice little area type thing.
Yeah.
And I could go in and practice and do all that stuff, and then by the time the game's about to start, that's when he loads in. And then also in the BR itself, specifically is going to be linked a video to Drifter. He did a big comparison comparing the VR or the BR in the regular PS4 and the PS4 Pro. And the regular PS4 was only getting around 900p graphics. PS4 Pro getting full 1080. The regular PS4 only getting about 45 to 55 frames, kind of random.
Yeah.
The PS4 Pro getting a constant 60. And then also things like the trees looking like actual Minecraft trees. And the render distance and everything are pretty same, but the graphics just, they're noticeably worse.
Yeah.
So it's kind of begging the question of, hey, you got a year left. Is a year worth $400 or $500?
And that is truly dependent on, one, are you like me and you're a graphics whore?
Yeah.
Or two, I mean, is the price point really worth it to you? And, I mean, obviously you have more than a year. You've got a minimum of 2, possibly 3 years
You're a
left.
graphics whore and you don't own a PC. Why?
Money.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Money. Okay. Now every 6 months, do I have $1,500 to drop on like new graphics
Yeah,
cards?
every 6 months.
Okay.
18.
I'm a perfectionist, so my problem is I'm gonna be like, I want that other thing too, and I. Man,
6
I
grand
know I
later,
can go a
you're
little
still
bit
not
more.
gonna.
Yeah.
I haven't upgraded my computer in like 2 or 3 years, and I still play the Black Ops. No
You're
problem.
not me.
I upgrade mine every 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
I'm terrible.
I'm about to say, I would
Don't
be.
follow his
I
lifestyle.
mean,
Don't be me.
I would start building and doing things with it because I would get into that world. So I just do what any normal person says who goes, I have an addictive mindset. I don't do drugs.
That's why I don't go to Vegas.
So, huh?
I said that's why I don't go to Vegas. I'm going in December.
Yeah, no. I still go to Vegas. God, I want to go too. I actually need to talk to you about that.
100%.
But at the same time, like if you look at the PS4 Pro and when I have played like a newer game like Spider-Man, I could tell a massive difference in graphics just on my TV alone compared to the past games.
See, to me, and it is very interesting because I was talking to my roommate today on the way home because we carpool together about the Blackout beta of like, hey, is PC really like the best, or like are people still going to play a lot on console? And like, it's very interesting because we have such different perspectives because like, it's almost like I come from a point of privilege. Like, the regular PlayStation had issues where like, whoa, if you're going through the menus, like you can make it load slow, or like it won't let you go back, or weird things would happen, right? Or like the graphics just don't look that good, or it's not as smooth, the frame rate drops, or whatever. And it's like I'm over here like, I didn't see any of that. I don't.
Is that PC or Pro?
That's Pro versus regular.
Okay.
No, on PC, the PC does look better than the Pro version, and it also I think it was capped at 90 frames, so it's still a little smoother too.
Yeah.
And the menus were different. But just on the PlayStation, it was like his perspective of the PlayStation was much worse than mine, and I think it's a lot to do with like my game was just better. Like because on the Pro, like it was just a better experience.
It could also
Unfortunately,
be age of the machine because we got our PS4s in 2013.
yeah.
It's 5 years, man. That's 5 years wear and tear on a hard drive.
Well, some
on
of
the
it's only gonna last 6
processors.
years.
Huh?
Well, some of it's only gonna last for 6 years.
Oh, I know. 6, 7, yeah. 7.
He
most
consented
likely.
first.
7's the magic number, but I mean, I've talked about things that have blown up. I've seen PS4s take a crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was honestly I got pushed into the PS4 too because Brianna wanted one, so I was like, I'll just give her mine and I can go get the Pro and I can justify it.
Yeah. And it brings up another thing another news topic we're trying to briefly cover in this as well, and that's that AMD is basically already working with Sony and whatnot and everyone to make the next gen of consoles. I think the article you specifically linked said 2021 was their projection.
Yeah, most likely. But 2020 is possible, but it all depends on their timeline.
Maybe 2019.
Late 29, like January 1st, 2020, probably or later. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can't be December 31st.
Nah,
no.
it's not happening.
It's gonna be January 1st. It could be midnight, December 31st, 12:01 technically,
12:01.
kicking over into the new year.
That's right. Got to have that new year PS5.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome if they actually had that. That'd be sick.
The midnight
that would be
launch.
stupid as hell.
Oh my god, it just crashed.
Yeah.
The next little bit of news, speaking of things that are crashing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did get back, but this is why it's going to be 2021. We're not going over this. You almost got me, son of a gun. The processors that they're making specifically, that AMD is making for Microsoft and specifically for PlayStation, is not going to be ready
What if they don't call it PlayStation?
for the next couple of years, which...
Yeah, that's what I think's odd about it. I don't.
29.
They said couple of years, and they said they were projecting 21, which I think is way too late.
I think that they said that to be safe.
I think the sweet spot is 2020. I think the money shot is 2019.
The freaking the amount of marketing you could do with 2020 is just crazy.
Yeah,
I see it coming in 2020. PS5.
I'm just
Seeing
thinking
is
of-
believing 2020. Come on, dude. It's just going to be great.
I'm not looking forward to that year for the whole year of puns that we're gonna get. I do find it very interesting timing wise, and I do think that'll be it's gonna be a very neat thing to see.
Yeah.
I think the 2021 thing that they had on there, I think that they're just kind of fronting with that.
Well, the reason I think it's going to take so long is because of the streaming services. It's all have to be built from. It's going to be built for the streaming services.
Yeah, and that's something that I don't think we necessarily cover, which we'll kind of cover in a topic later, so we can hit on that in a minute.
Oh, are you talking about the 6.0 update?
I'm talking about the whole hubs.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of that's cloud-based as well. The next little bit of news that we wanted to bring up, well, we kind of lost the topic of things dying, but whatever. It seems that the Nintendo Switch's online is already getting pooed all over.
Oh, man. All over the comments.
People don't really like it. Basically, everybody's saying, like, hey, this is a half-baked system. Like, you're basically giving us, like, mediocre stuff. What, 2 years in now? A year in? Year and a half? 2 years?
This would be It came out
March of last year, so
Last year,
almost good year and a half in. A good year and a half in, and it just feels like a very shaky launch setup. You still got to chat through your phone, which is
That
ridiculous.
is the dumbest thing in the world.
Like, if we want to play like a game together online, we have to chat through our phones.
Yeah.
There is no chat on the console.
You have
So
to
I
use
just
an
make a
application.
phone call with you and just like.
You could do that, or you
Yeah.
could use their app to chat.
No. I'm just gonna do a phone call.
I
That's
know,
actually
or you're
easier
gonna get
and-
Discord like a normal human.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then also like you have the saves and whatnot. You can cloud save most games, but you can't cloud save to all games.
Well, let's start at the top. So it's being released on September 18th.
Yep.
So, which is by the time you hear this, it's going to be probably the day prior. It's going to be released Wednesday.
$30 a year.
$20.
$20 a
It
year.
is $20 a year. You are going to have access to cloud saves, which by
Some
the way,
games.
some games have
Actually.
access to cloud saves. I think they're going to fix it. There's no way they're not going to because they've pissed way too many people off. And Nintendo, believe it or not, out of all things, is okay with customer service. Now they're okay with also telling people to go F themselves. So
Like you're gonna use
Take
the
the go with
stupid
the bad.
phone app.
yeah, pretty much. And so I think though with Pokemon and their major heavy hitters, I think they're going to be a little more lenient on and giving a little bit more effort to those. But so September 18th, $20 cloud save, and you get free games. It does interchange, I think, either month to month. But the good thing is, or the thing that people are kind of getting tweaked about is that if you're not connected to the internet in 7 days, you lose the ability to play the free games until you log back onto the internet. Doesn't affect your subscription or anything like that. So you're going to have access to those games, and you're hooked up to the internet, which most people that have a Switch, you're probably going to be hooked up to the internet, at least at some point in time during the week.
Convince your grandma to get internet as well for your summer vacation.
You need
and
like
your
2
winter.
megabits per second. I mean, for real. Just like log in, and then it pings, and it goes, oh, yeah, you're good, and it recertifies those games. It gives you the certificate, and you're good to go. So it's not that big a deal. There's no risk or reward to it outside of that. Cool thing is, though, those the currency that you earn from buying games and stuff like that, though you can actually use that to buy the subscription service.
Interesting.
So if you buy like a game every month, that pretty much pays for your subscription service, and then you get to play free games and have cloud save. So it's really not all that bad.
How does a cloud save work with multiple devices?
That's a great question.
It doesn't.
Why don't you explain it then? Because I haven't heard anything about that.
From my understanding, and this could totally be wrong, but from my understanding is that it doesn't because I guess they don't want you to game the system, so to speak.
Yeah.
So like if you have a cloud save on your one system, like you could delete it off the system and re-download it later as the application, not for I'm gonna have 2 Switches and I'm gonna have my Zelda game on both of them.
Oh, so the whole cloud save is just tied to one device then.
From my understanding, yes.
Well,
I
and
mean,
and you can't also transfer data for that same reason. That's what they're
For
like
example, if-
Pokemon. They don't want you spoofing that
I
either.
mean, I understand that. That's why Steam has like the one login at a time system.
Yeah, but you know what happens if my computer blows up and I go log into another computer that lets me?
That's why he's saying that's going to
That's
be.
what's
Oh, you
that's what
actually
it
have to
should
make the action on
No,
your
no.
own to delete it.
The issue is that the big issue pre-network right now is like if I put up 200 hours into my Zelda game and I break my Switch, I cannot get that back no matter what.
Right.
Nope.
And if I cloud save, I still cannot get that back. It's tied to that console.
No, you should.
Consoles are
You'll
huge.
have an account.
Right, but the cloud save, I believe, is the game save is tied to the console, if I'm not mistaken.
What's the point of a cloud save?
So you can delete it from the console, and you can
And
re-download
it's still
it.
there, and you can re-download it
So
later.
because all your saves are local to the console. Like you have
I'll have to look.
like your
more.
whole Zelda save is on the console.
Has
so
that
if-
been confirmed?
No, that's for what I was seeing online. I didn't see that from an
Yeah,
official.
well, I'll have to delve into that because that is actually huge, and we'll definitely be
Because
talking
I was
about
like,
that.
that's still dumb.
I wish you brought that up earlier. I would have totally looked into
Yeah.
that. Damn.
And then just a few other things. Like one, the price isn't terrible from what most people were saying. It is just more of like
The
just
stupid
like I said-
retarded crap that Nintendo does.
it just feels like it's half baked. And this is coming, whatever it is, 18 months in your console's life. Like you should have been ready at launch. If this came out at launch, people would be like, all right, you'll get better.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's like
It's
no,
been a year and a half, and
what
you're
have you been
still
doing?
screwing
Yeah.
this.
What are you doing?
That's why they're putting in the free games. They're trying to soften the blow.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the only reason they do that. I mean, Nintendo doesn't do anything for free. They understand the pros and cons and what people are looking
Oh,
at,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
people are getting to the point now where they're like, they're just gonna be mad because they're not gonna be happy either way.
Yeah, they don't do anything for free, and especially when it comes to Pokemon Go. What they do is they make all the money in Pokemon Go.
Yes, they do
And you know how they made all the money in Pokemon Go?
with subscribers.
With subscribers. But you know what they did with that? They allowed you to trade. And since trading has been instilled in Pokemon Go, the user base has soared, hasn't it, John?
35%.
35.
That's impressive.
That is massive. And if you think if every one of those people, out of the, I don't know, 100 million people that are playing, spend $1, you just made $100 million
Yeah,
that
exactly.
day.
Like,
Yeah. What kills me though is I do wish, and I know this is an impossible stat to, I guess, authenticate or whatever. Like for example, Brent had one account, Brianna had one account.
They now have 2 accounts each.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
how much of that 35% is that? And if it is that, then that seems low.
Yeah,
I
well,
feel like it should be at least 50.
well, you have some people. You have pictures of people walking around with 5 freaking
I'm on
phones
every
on the
team.
thing, spreading out, and they're just going around.
Well,
like,
then there's
spinning things,
only 3 teams, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I could justify everybody having a team, right? I mean, I wouldn't, but I could see
I
Brent
can
doing
see
it.
you doing it strictly for raid battles and stuff like that, but there's no other reason to do it, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, totally agree. I think it's very odd, but
In the beginning, it was supposed to be a joining factor, a camaraderie of sorts, which worked, actually. I mean, it's antiquated now for what the system is, but in the beginning, it's what got people to gather in locations to do things. And then they came up with raids, and it replaced that, and it's not really necessary anymore. And if you look, it's not really used outside of gyms.
Yeah.
That's it. And for the battle system.
dropping that dime word in there too.
Huh?
Dropping that dime word in there.
Oh, my God.
I
What?
don't think anyone here at the table can spell that.
Oh, my God.
Antiquated.
Antiquated. Huh?
I don't think anybody can spell that. I can't.
Give me a
the other
minute.
thing, like he kept saying dime word, and I knew that's what he's saying, and I kept thinking, John's just over there thinking he's talking about a dime bag or something like
Yeah, I was like, what? Well, I didn't say anything involving that.
The next little bit of news that we kind of want to talk about is it's fascinating, and I find it very interesting. But the NPD group has assessed that the majority of people who have a console have multiple.
Yeah, so out of the, I mean, there's 211 Americans, 6-7%.
330. I'm talking about adults.
No, well, of active gamers.
Oh, okay.
So
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's
I mean,
2/3.
That's literally 2/3 of
That is
the
2/3
That's
of the
67%. And you're looking at probably, they said about a little over 50. So I'd say probably about 125 million people have more than one play on more than one format.
More than one console.
Platform.
What is
Platform.
platform?
There.
What
Thank
is
you. Jeez, I was like, where's the word?
what is interesting is you use the term console, but the platform also includes mobile devices and handheld devices.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to like switch from saying console. 'Cause I was
Right.
trying to say platform.
And I think it's very interesting to note because the whatever you said, 230 million, whatever,
211 million.
211 million people that play video games. I do feel like a good majority of that are people who play on mobile. Because the Gamergate thing that happened a few years ago is a huge deal. There's more girls playing games than guys, and it's like
Not by much. I mean,
it's like in a certain context that's weird, right? But then when you think about it, it's like how many of your friends that are female play Candy Crush or Farmville or games that us as gamers wouldn't really call games? Would be like, oh, it's
Of course, us, us people, who play games on consoles or PC, you look at those guys and go, normies.
yeah, but it's like
Well, you're also looking at the age variations too, because people
like
that are
my
in
mom
their
plays.
50s,
Yeah, my mom plays
Oh, yeah.
Farmville and Candy Crush and all that stuff, and it's like.
It's way outside the 18 to 34 range.
Yeah, if you ask me if my mom was a gamer, I'd be like, no. She's
Yeah,
not
no,
a gamer at
exactly.
all.
But that's
But then you feel like, she probably makes more
realistic-
games than I do now.
but realistically, that's gaming. Like, it's all
Yeah.
part of the same community. So,
And that's why I think that this is interesting, because to me it tells me that, like, for example, my parents, they have multiple consoles at their house, not just because of me, but they have their phones, and then they have a console at the house to play Netflix and watch movies and all that stuff.
We have the age variation too. You have kids who tend to like more the Nintendo games, and where you have the kids who are
I'm
the
gonna get a
teenagers who
Switch and
like the
an iPad.
shooters, so they're going PS4
We got a
or
PlayStation
Xbox.
and an Xbox. Nobody's getting an Xbox, let's be real.
And if it's in the same house, they're going to have accounts on each of those. They're going to have that one game they want to play or whatever.
Timmy's going to get RKO'd because he thinks Xbox is cool.
Now, I don't know how they
Jeff
got
over
to
there is
that
gonna
number,
beat
to be
him.
honest. And I don't know how they're proving that number because, I mean, say I have a company phone and it has Pokemon Go on it, and I'm using it for Pokemon Go. It's not registered to me, so how do they know I'm playing?
That was my thing of when I read it, it said multi-platform, so I would assume if you have multiple phones, I still think that's considered the same platform.
Probably is.
I think they mean like PC and phone, or phone and console, or maybe 2 consoles, or whatever.
Yeah, I would
Two
just I'm just
consoles
wondering how
being
they
PlayStation
gathered the
and
info.
Xbox.
statistics probably just gathered a small subset of people, asked them,
They took a pack
hey,
of
you play
nerds,
games, what consoles do you
Yeah,
Took a pack of nerds like me and locked us in a room and questioned us, interrogated us.
stab them
Survey
with a probe,
monkey.
apparently, because it's
Yeah.
the action that Dylan just went for there.
Why do you think they did that?
Counter fraud.
Yeah. The next little bit of news we wanted to go over here is now I'm mentally preparing myself to say this word and I'm going to butcher it now, but Danganronpa.
Danganronpa.
And Zero Escape, which is their studio or their other game.
No, that's a different.
That's the other game. Okay.
Yeah.
That studio is creating a new IP, and they've released some imagery.
Yeah, they've released some really interesting fan art. Not fan art, but
I was
like
gonna say,
picture
I don't
art.
think it's
That's not
fan
fan
art.
art.
I mean, I guess they're
It's more,
fans
it
of
looks
it,
like
but-
almost like an album cover. A lot of it does, like for a boy band on some of them. It was kind of cool.
Hey.
But the new studio is called Tokyo. T-O-O-K-O, Kyoto. Like Tokyo, but it's spelled with T-O-O and then space Kyoto. Or Kyoto. I can't remember.
I want to
Can't see it in right now, so it's messing with my brain.
I want to watch you explain things under the limelight.
But the cool thing about the Zero Escape and Danganronpa series is that it has it's playful in the fact of like, you know, Zero Escape's more puzzle based, but it's still kind of got this creepy horror tinge to it.
Interesting.
And Danganronpa has like the school life aspect, and it also has this horror image to it. And seeing these two games collide is going to be so cool. I think it's going to be like a new genre almost, and how they literally made their own genre when it came down to games for me personally.
Interesting.
Because Zero Escape has the ability that game, that series had a way to make people think and understand science on a physics and astronomical level.
What if it was on the
Okay.
rocks?
The rocks, that would be geological.
He didn't get it.
What if it was science on the rocks?
That's available in Charlotte if you want to go to Discovery Place.
Second Thursday?
Friday, isn't it?
Friday, I don't know.
Second Friday. Last time we went there was on a Friday.
But
Could be.
the Danganronpa series is like more school based, so it's a little bit more teenager driven, but it's still got like you're playing the game, you're gonna die if you don't win, that kind of scenario. But it also has an underlying tone of
Jesus, that's rough.
yeah. I mean, it's
I never played those
heavy,
games.
but at the same time, it's really interesting. It plays with your emotions.
You're
a
saying
lot.
you're a fat person.
Yes.
Okay.
I am very fat on emotion with those
No, you
games.
said it was heavy.
It's really interesting because the realistic art that they
PHAT.
had looked very much like Danganronpa's art features, whereas the newer cartoony style looked a lot like more of the Danganronpa like colors, but has like the Zero Escape kind of feel to it, but has like the Danganronpa schooling feature to it, whereas the other one looked like Zero Escape. So it's like you're watching them mesh. And it's going to be really
I
interesting.
just imagine a really cool
Interesting.
graphic designer showing you, say, Danganronpa, and then an arrow of saying art, and then pointing to Zero Escape, and then an arrow back to Danganronpa saying color, and then pointing back to Zero Escape, and it's just an endless loop. to get
It
to
pretty
the
much
other.
will
Yeah.
be, and I'm going to be really interested to see what happens and when it comes out, because they've got 4 projects rolling out right now, and they've got
Quattro.
drawings
shake.
out. It looks like they had the drawing. Some of the drawings were from Zero Escape, and some of them were from the Danganronpa artists. But it's True Blue, like you feel it looking at the pictures. That what you're going to
True
expect.
Blue, what do you mean?
Interesting.
Like just through and through. Like
Okay.
it's all the same people, the same
I thought it was
directors,
just a really
the same
good shade of
artists.
blue. I thought it was just a really good shade of blue.
I thought it was a really good rhyme. True blue through and through.
That's why I was like, I don't know where he's going with this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really interesting. Check them out.
Sounds cool.
Support your artists, man, because they were one of the forerunners on Vita games. I mean, both Zero Escape
One
and
of the 4 runners on video game. The only 4 people made the games.
that is not true. Drinkbox Studios is
Second one.
had like
Second one.
5 games. Okay, not 5. They had like 3. They had 3 games.
What would you say that is? Would you say that is something in particular?
What?
What we just talked about.
He's trying to make a segue happen here.
Would you say that it was something
It's great
in
to watch you
particular?
struggle. It's awesome.
Would you say that it was like something monumental, maybe?
Just go with it. I don't know where
Would you
you're
say that
going
it's
with this.
important?
It's important, very important.
Because it's definitely it's important. That's what it is.
Like you're ending it. Okay.
The important that. So hopping on into the topics, they're a little bit dysfunctional as always.
Yeah.
The first one that we should hop into is just the leader of the dysfunctional group here should just take it on.
Go for it, Mark.
I was like, he's going to look at me. I know he's going to look at me. All right. So news article came out. Apparently Google has this has always been something that's been publicly, I guess, noted or given to you or publicly
Give
presented
it
to
to
you
me.
anyway. Whenever you sign your terms and conditions that everybody actually reads all the way through from beginning to end.
I've already given them my semen. What
Every
else do they want?
Wow, that
that took a hard left. Was not ready for that one. Anyway,
go watch the episode of South Park where they talk about this. Come back.
Anyway, so Apple had openly said a long time ago that they had a backdoor into everybody's phones simultaneously
Backdoor.
to be able to remote control certain parts of the device.
So they can violate your device at any point in time
More or
Wow.
less.
through
Yes.
the back door.
Basically, yes.
Wow. Prostate
Google
excursion.
had accidentally acted upon that, apparently, last week, where they had...
So they phone raped him.
Yes, what they had done is they had accidentally turned on the power saving feature for a large number of devices.
No, this was for the hurricane.
No, I think
Or
they said they were
national-
just testing the feature or
Okay.
something like that.
I had actually read that, not related to your article, but I read that they were testing this / enacting this to localize people in the North and South Carolina area.
I did not know that.
That could totally not be correct. Don't hold me to that, please.
But no, it was completely accidental. Whatever they were doing, enabling this power saving feature remotely anyway was completely accidental. And they immediately got on like Reddit and Twitter and said, "Hey, look, some of you may have seen this happen. We're really sorry. It was completely unintentional, that kind of thing." And it was like a couple 100,000 people that were actually like affected by
Do you
this.
think they would have even noticed?
I wouldn't have. I would have
Yeah.
thought, "Oh crap, I left that on again," that kind of thing. Like I turn mine on all the time, but
Yeah.
That's why you should get an iPhone. You don't need it.
That's not
They have
necessarily
one.
true.
They have-
And yours
They do
has
have
that same backdoor feature, so
No, I was meaning the low power mode. I don't ever use it because my phone uses
okay.
that.
To be fair, though, you also have a time limiter on yours to prevent you from using your screen
That's-
beyond a certain amount of time for the day.
That's because I'm not an adult.
It forces him to masturbate
so
at home instead of at work.
The root question here is, because this is actually something that came up back when iPhone or Apple first announced or like kind of said, or it was first discovered that they had this backdoor in your phone. Do you care that they have that backdoor? Like, knowing that we don't know maybe what the full limitations of it are, and that what you own isn't necessarily yours.
It's always been that way now.
I mean,
far
we
as
all
I
have
remember.
back doors, so what's the harm in a phone having it?
Might as well use it if you got it.
I don't want to use my back door. I want to make that very clear. John is different. I'm not.
I'm different than all of you.
But the question is, do you care?
Yeah, I do, but what can I do about it?
I mean, realistically, any kind of legislation could come into play. If we wanted to move to the EU, actually, this is something that would come
That
into
would
play.
require a Congress that understands the concept of Facebook.
I thought you were going to say the Constitution, which also could be applicable.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not wrong. That's actually perfectly fine.
For me, I don't care. And the reason that I don't care is because I would like to imagine believing in a free market. So if Google does this, then I hope that Apple wouldn't, vice versa.
Yeah.
I think that if Google exploits this or if Apple exploits this, I think the other one will white knight the P out of them.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm surprised Apple hasn't been like, look who messed up. What nust.
I think
I think
it's
that'll
because
happen when it messes up on a
I
big
think
scale.
that'll be their ad campaign next week.
I think part of it's because, they can't, because Apple was the first one to really discover this. And my favorite part about the article anyway is it talked about it, because I remember this being a big thing, and it was, they've got a backdoor into change settings on your phone, without your knowledge and that kind of thing. And then sort of the news just sort of died down, and everybody kept using their phones because it's more useful than it
What are
is
you gonna do?
intrusive. So
Well, I mean, they were
Like-
just giving crap to Fortnite for having an exploit, and no, they
Blah, blah,
basically
blah.
just told the world, hey, by the way, if you can crack this, you have an exploit into everyone's phone. How else wouldn't you be able to someone at Google could do something that would be potentially malicious?
He means it's a Twitter handle at Google.
Oh, I mean,
specifically.
that's always going to be an option if they have. That's always an option if they have any kind of remote controlled ability anyway on your device or whatever it is. But there's really nothing you can do about that. That's up to the company to make sure that doesn't happen. But this is why like launching nuclear missiles, for example, requires a bunch of people to press keys. You don't want to cause a bunch of effects to a ton of
Alicia.
people anyway. You don't want to cause a bunch of mass hysteria to a bunch of people. And have
Right before
let
they
one
die
person
in this
let
week.
one person have that kind of control. I'm assuming Google has the ability to say, "Oh, these people have access to do it; they don't." That kind of thing. I mean, that's basic.
I guess
security.
my point is like, what are the ramifications truly? What are the like those big old black poles, don't you?
But the idea is that because they are the OS manufacturer, we have to have some level of trust in them to say, okay, they're not going to take pictures with our camera and remotely upload them to a Google server via encryption that makes it masquerade as something else. They're not going to turn on microphones to start
Fantasizing?
listening to us, that kind of thing, and stream the audio. Although to be fair though, again, with Google Home devices and Amazon the Echoes and things like that, we've already basically given that access. But
we give them access with microphones, cameras,
I
and
mean,
there's
they would-
nothing stopping them if they can keep it under wraps, even from the programmer. Some of the programmers, if they're
So
able to
many
institute
puns.
certain things, I mean, what's to stop them? I mean, for real.
okay.
I mean, we already have programs that are already leeching data off of us, and we're just now figuring it out. You know, like the flashlight apps or even little small gaming apps
Trend
that
Micro
start
thing
blowing
yesterday
up.
where it was taking last time anyway. My topic from last time that was talking about Trend Micro, your
Yeah.
virus scanner uploading your browser history.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
we
there's
talked
nothing safe anymore when it comes to data. So if you want safety, you get an air-gapped computer. You get whatever information you want from the other, and then just put it in that USB it into the other computer.
Yeah, what I find fascinating is we talked
Even then,
about
it's not air-gapped anymore.
we talked about this either last week or 2 weeks ago. The dude's making spoof keys for the Teslas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last weekend a
Stole-
Tesla Model 3 from the Mall of America got stolen.
Yeah, it was stolen, like from the Mall of America. Yeah, with a phone app. He walked up and scanned it, got in the car, and drove away.
Boosted.
Yeah, but they found it, I'm assuming.
Well, I'm assuming, but
I mean, the thing's
I feel
probably
like in
lined out with
today's
GPS.
time, there's no way you can steal a car and not get found
It's getting
Oh,
to be
yeah.
that way, yeah.
unless you burn it, and then they're like, "Oh, it's a burnt
just-
car. That's
You
weird."
Just strip it down, sell it for parts.
Yeah.
Chop shops, man.
Right, but it's a Tesla. What are you gonna sell? The technology's 90% of the car. I feel.
And
Yeah,
not to
but
mention,
there's
you
a
have
whole-
to you
trust
have
me,
to go and keep it under warranty. You have to take it to Tesla.
I don't think those people wanted to keep it under warranty.
Well, no, but that's the thing. If you see, there's an entire series of YouTube channels anyway that are dedicated to just doing their own personal modifications to these cars and doing their own personal repairs to
seen
these
some
cars.
of
Like
those
they'll
cars,
buy like the wrecked versions of Model S's, Model 3s, Model X's, that kind of thing, and then swap in used parts that are pulled from other cars that have
Yeah.
either been chopped or have been stripped apart from accidents anyway for the parts.
Yeah, but back to the original topic at hand. I do find it very interesting because, like, jokingly with the back door and the never-ending puns we have going here, legit, they have power to your back door. Like, if you have like a smart lock system, like if you use like what is it, August or Augusta? August. If you use August systems, or if you use some of the we use the, I don't even remember what brand we use. But we have a smart lock system as well. Ours isn't the one that you can use because of your phone because I'm paranoid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like,
Yeah, exactly.
we kind of have a smart lock. We have
one with a
code.
touchpad, but we don't have the smart lock because one of us is really paranoid.
You already admitted
He
to
says,
it.
I was gonna say, he says one of us like it's third person. No. He's talking about himself.
I
But
don't blame you on
but
that.
in the scenario, you do have one that's Bluetooth. Like, I mean, somebody could essentially find some way to backdoor your Bluetooth signal, or maybe, you know what, the purge happens, and Apple's like, we're going to allow the purge and unlock the doors.
That would be messed up.
Exactly.
That would
be
hurt
really
them.
messed up.
Oh, my God.
Because it'd be like, I don't want your Apple Lock anymore. I'm gonna go buy a different one that doesn't open up during the purge.
By that point, you're already
you
dead.
got
What
to
does it matter?
survive the
Purge
purge.
proof, man. Purge proof.
PP, man, PP. I got that PP lock.
Wow.
Well, but I do find it very interesting just because, like, it's getting to the point now where it's,
What's the worst that can happen?
well, one, it's not even getting to that point to me. It's more of like, I expect the worst, and when it's anything better than that, I'm like, oh, that's a win.
Okay. All right. I mean, me
You'll never
personally,
be disappointed at that.
Exactly.
I'll say, I mean, me personally, I don't really care necessarily, just because they haven't actually, as long as they're not doing anything malicious with it. Like,
The problem is you can't be
Like
a part of
posting your
society
peeing
now
pictures.
without being invased in some way or another.
invaded.
Invased.
Invased. That's where he sticks his hand inside of a vase and calls it invased.
Wrap
No,
myself
you
up
mean
together.
you mean sticks his hand inside of a vase?
Based it.
Like, oh, okay. It sounded like you said a face,
Like
and I was
based
like,
no,
wow.
instead of a vase. Oh,
That
no.
escalated fast. I was like,
Wow.
shut
No,
my mouth
the
or something.
it's just very interesting to me because, like, while I do think that the bar is sadly getting set lower and lower every year, when hopefully we dream of it being higher and higher, but with like it being invased, his word.
It's
Like this.
publicized now, so it's a real word.
Exactly.
Thank you, Webster.
Yep, Merriam-Webster 2019 confirmed.
right next
to
to
me-
PS5.
It's very interesting just because, like, for example, like this right here, cutting on low power mode. When you think about it, what's the worst Google do with your settings? And you're like, okay, cool. They could pipe me on my data bill. They can maybe come a tethering on or something like that, right? But like until it's where they like forward your whole gallery to your friends, which I think Samsung did this recently. They had an issue with this with Samsung messaging. But Samsung messaging, if you sent your friend a message on Samsung Messenger, they had
Oh, it would start
would
unloading a bunch of
Yeah.
pictures at
unload
a time.
all
Yeah,
of your like most recent 10 or 15 pictures, whatever. Unless it's something messed up like that, and they're just sending ping pictures everywhere. I don't think it's that bad.
So I wonder if they would be actually held liable for
Like
pushing out pornographic
Yeah.
material to like minors. And shit.
that would be
Oh my God.
hilarious. Like Google gets shut down for largest child porn ring ever because they forwarded a whole bunch of child.
Oh, it was an
I was gonna say,
accident.
you just gave Dylan an idea how. Never mind.
What?
How to get away with? Never mind.
How to get away with homicide.
Yeah.
No, okay, all right. So you care to some
I
extent.
care, but there's nothing I can do about it. So
okay.
Do you care? Is the question.
No, not really. Like I said, as long as they're not doing anything
well, that's what I
malicious with
said.
it,
What's
as long
the
as they're
worst
not.
that can happen.
Well, I mean,
Advertisers market you harder than they already are.
I mean, as long as they're not violating their own
Mark
privacy
it.
policy that allows that says that they're going to protect my data to be saved for me.
They're violating everybody by using the back door in general. Why not just use the front door?
Would you say that we could
That
market
means
the back
somebody-
door?
Anyway,
Oh, so now you're using both doors at the same time? You're
I
adventurous.
mean, you're using the front door technically on your own phone, and then they're using the back door on your phone.
wanna
So
be very clear with
so
you.
it's
I
kind of like
do-
a Dutch rudder.
I'm very sorry.
this is derailed hardcore. All
I'm
right,
very
I think
sorry.
we're ready to move on.
Now that John has had the time of his life, we're going to talk about things that gave him the time of his life when he least expected it, much like the Dutch rudder did to him once.
That was actually soggy waffle. And no, that wasn't. God, it's so
Wow.
gross.
What?
You've never done that before? Neither have I. So the games
I'm
that
so
I'm talking
sorry.
about are ones that you dismissed at first. Like, you're like, you know what? That game looks dumb. Or, you know what? That's not my thing. And then one day you came around it and you end up playing it and being like, this was actually really good. I enjoyed this thoroughly. Do you guys have that kind of game? Mine is actually Spark VR. I looked at that game and I was like, that looks like a cheap version of Pong. Whatever. No big deal. And then I told you I got on that VR kick.
Yep.
So I bought a bunch of games and then I started playing it with Brian across the way. And just really ended up loving it. Matter of fact, that game, I've never worked out harder the past few years than in that
Have you seen?
hour or two of playing that game.
Have you seen the people who have lost a ton of weight on Beat Saber? Let me think about that.
I can guarantee it.
People like losing like 50, 60 pounds from playing Beat Saber every day.
Dude, I'm telling you, when me and Brian were playing, I had the fan on. We were playing in our living rooms almost naked
Dripping.
because we were dripping in sweat. The next day, I woke up, my entire tricep and bicep family stopped working.
There were so many bad puns there that could have happened, but
Yeah.
Dude,
But
it was
no,
like
that-
it was like I had
that's
a
impressive.
24-hour masturbation session. Every muscle in my body hurt.
That's a little
that
much.
should have only been one arm. Then, like for Beat Saber, at least both arms should have been hurt.
You
then.
can't use both. It's called switch hitting, dude.
I mean, the stranger every now and then, but like, come on, you can't do it all the time. Otherwise, it becomes too
sorry.
familiar.
It got to the point where, like, because you were dipping and moving and everything else, my abs hurt.
Were
I
you
felt like I
ducking?
did 100 crunches.
Yeah.
I did a bunch of push-ups. I felt like I was doing jumping jacks for an hour and a half straight.
Did you dodge?
Yeah.
Did you duck?
I dodged, and dip,
Dodge,
dip,
duck-
I don't
dive,
think that
dive,
came-
Dodge, dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
dodge. There you go.
There we go.
You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge ball, baby.
You can. Mark, do you have anything that genuinely surprised you? I would say that we shouldn't limit this to gaming. We can talk about the music, the movies, the
Yeah, music, movies, whatever entertainment that you
whole
like.
nine, as some would say.
Well, okay, so I mean, if we want to touch on music, I mean, I don't know how much you guys know about this. Taylor Swift's one of my guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
Are you
So-
talking about
Mine
Taylor
too.
Swift?
Oh no, every
Like,
bit of it.
the stuff
that
20
was-
no, every bit of it.
Okay.
Like we're gonna go all the way back. Colby, you're gonna love this. Teardrops on my guitar, all the way back there, all the way up to Look What You Made Me Do.
Did you just hear how he said teardrops on my guitar?
I was thinking of the leaked pictures or something from the Apples.
I didn't know even she had leaked pictures on the Apple Cloud.
Oh yeah, dude. Remember Apple? Like people
yeah, I
got
remember
hacked.
that.
and shit?
Yeah, I just didn't-
I'm gonna end up doing a Google search later for that. Thank you.
Oh, dude, she paid a lot of people to get that off the internet.
The only one that I saw was, or the only one that I really heard of was, what's the Hunger Games chick's name?
Her
and the-
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, her and the soccer player, the soccer chick.
Yeah.
Solo.
And she got up.
Oh,
She was like,
oh,
you know,
yeah.
you want to look at it, go ahead. But screw you.
I
She
guess.
had the best mentality. I was like, yeah.
Whatever.
That noise was a little, something.
I don't have the Brent Metcalf finger, so I don't even try.
Okay, but I just mean I can't even make it or whatever. Yeah, that. That's a weird noise. I don't like that.
This is great.
Um,
No, so as far as music goes, Taylor Swift actually was one of those things. Whenever she first came out with music, I was like, "This is kind of dumb. I'm not really gonna get into this, that kind of thing." And then once I got into like freshman, sophomore year of college, I started hearing some of her later stuff. I was like, "All right, this is terrible. This is not bad. All right, I'm kind of enjoying this actually. Let's go back and listen to some of the old stuff. I've been missing out on this for years."
Yeah, that's pretty much the feeling.
Mine was, I mean, I don't really like country, so a lot of the early stuff for her, I was like, it's
I love
whatever.
country.
But then as soon as I'm trying to think of the name of the song. It's got the weird music video with the dude, Shelby Cobra. I don't know if you watch music videos.
Shelby Cobra.
Is it bad intentions? Bad something?
Bad Blood.
Bad Blood. Yeah, that was it. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
this,
yeah.
this
That's
is a
right.
banger. Wow, this is pretty
Yeah,
good.
no, Bad Blood's got a really sick video, too.
Didn't she actually write all her own music?
Yeah, but I mean, like definitely all of her early stuff. Yeah. All the country stuff she wrote herself. I don't know about the.
Well, I
this
think
late
she's
stuff.
super baller. She's always been one of those people that, like, I am certain there's many people out there that think she's very attractive, but I've just always thought she looks very mousy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, because like, one of our buddies is Colby. We know that you still greatly appreciate Taylor Swift, but I was always like, I just don't get it. I mean, in the beginning, I was like, maybe you like her sound or whatever.
Yeah, no.
But Bad Blood, I'm like, oh, she bad.
No,
Ooh.
I like the sound
She's
and I like
crazy.
the lyrics because like a lot of the stuff, but even the stuff she's come out with lately anyway, still sounds unique to me. It sounds different. It's not like it has to conform to specific pop, music standards or anything like that.
She's got some balls, man. She was one chick was interviewing her, and she goes, "Oh, who are you gonna go home with tonight?" And she goes, "I don't need to go home with anybody." She told her to go screw off, and I was like, "Wow."
What I do
Kill
think is, I think
Yep.
she's the definition of crazy ex-girlfriend, though. Because like all of
yeah.
her breakup
She-
music songs,
no,
or whatever.
no, he's still referencing specifically Bad Blood.
Well, not
Yeah.
just Bad Blood, but like the.
Shania Twain, I like keyed your car.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
that one's
Carrie
bad.
Underwood, but
Oh, sorry, my bad. Wait, I
You
can't
could've
remember.
told
Never
me
mind.
either
Shania
of
Twain's
both
another
of them.
yeah.
But no, just like all the stuff about like her and
I'm sorry, I don't.
all of her ex-boyfriends, like just all of it. It's just she's just psycho.
Yeah.
She's one of those people that like I look at and I'm like,
I baked you cookies.
you legitimately scare me.
Oh wow.
Well, because what was it? I think "Shake It Off" was the first one that came out where she's like, "Oh, shake off the, the."
She talking about Katy Perry in that one.
Huh?
I was talking about Katy Perry.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But
She's
but
another
regardless,
weird-
it was still supposed to be the whole thing too of like her trying to get rid of like all of her memes, the memes against her and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Can't dance,
breaking up with somebody and then releasing another album, that kind of thing.
Yeah, out of all like these major like.
But then I think
teen
Bad Blood
pop
came
stars,
up
she's the one
after.
that hasn't shaved her head yet. Like Katy Perry shaved her
let's-
head. Britney Spears shaved her head.
Let's not. Actually, that'd be great.
I wonder what she would look like with shaved head. That'd be creepy looking.
Yeah. No,
I don't wanna think
I'm
about that.
good.
Well, let's see if it's.
No, I was trying to think of the song. It wasn't Bad Blood. It was what is it? Was it? Oh my god. It is Bad Blood. Yeah, Bad Blood is by Katy Perry. Jesus, I knew it was one of them. Because apparently she like took Katy Perry's dancer or something like that, and she got all tilted. I don't know.
I don't know.
Some weird scenario.
I can't believe we talked about Taylor Swift this long.
I
Oh my
can't.
god.
I'm loving
I
it.
can't.
But so I mean like that was definitely one thing that surprised me. But actually I'll touch into like the most recent thing I've been into lately. How much have I been talking about not playing COD?
Yeah.
I've like Battlefield is going to be it for me, like I pre-ordered the game so we could play the beta early and we played the beta and I enjoyed the crap out of the beta, and I'm ready for the game to come out, even though it got pushed back an entire month.
Because of reasons.
But Dylan sent me a key for the Call of Duty beta on the like 1 day early pre-release thing that they had, and I was like, all right, yeah, sure, why not? I'll try this out. And the only thing that's available is Blackout. To me, it's like a very heavily upgraded version of PUBG.
Yeah.
And I love it.
There you go.
I was very much.
Gotta love it.
I have been very much against Call of Duty since.
World at War.
No. I played World at War, and I actually played the first Black Ops. But after jetpacks, actually were kind of the big thing for me.
Oh, advanced.
Like, I never really paid attention to it after that. But now that it's sort of gone back to like I guess modern warfare style, better yet, they reintroduced a ton of old maps anyway again,
Yeah.
but in such a huge way with the Blackout map. I'm on board with
So
it.
it's
I
got
love
the
it.
nostalgia factor with different routes and different ways, like Nuketown. Like you can go through walls, ceilings, stuff like that. Like that.
Whole
When watching
underground
you
labyrinth.
play, I was like,
Yeah.
this has that feeling that I want to see these things, and then makes it new again, which just brings a whole new feeling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Adds a whole other level to me. I love it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm ready for it. I'm very seriously
Until
debating
I
about
watched
pre-ordering
him
the
play
game.
that, I wasn't either, and I can't wait to play it now.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going to go down 2 rabbit holes for mine. One is a very general thing because it's very hard for me to place a game that I had a bad kind of thought of.
Yeah.
But gaming as a whole. Because when I was a kid, like I thought, like my uncle was like big into games. He's like super nerd. And he like maybe play like Gauntlet and Mortal Kombat and like the old FIFA games and stuff like that. And we had a lot of fun, but the whole time I was like, yeah, Keith's just like, he's a nerd. I'm not a nerd. I'm a cool kid. I like to play sports. I'm like, I'm cool. Video games are lame.
Where you at now?
Exactly.
That was like 2000.
No, that was pretty much until 2010 when I came to
wow.
college. Actually, when I met Mark, I still really didn't play games at all until Kevin, our buddy Kevin, me and him played baseball together. And then I started playing Call of Duty, and I just went from like 0 to 100 real quick. And then I just started playing everything. So it was like,
League of Legends.
What?
League of Legends, man.
Yeah, we started playing League. We started playing, I played Call of Duty and traveled with that. We did like Skyrim, League of Legends, like legit everything. Then I started playing old games and new games and everything. So it was like, it was one of those things where it was like, for a good, 18, 19 years of my life, I was like, this is just stupid. I don't understand why people spend hours a day playing video games. And now, you know what? I've probably spent hundreds of days worth of time playing video games. So
Yep, all that lost opportunity for monies.
yeah.
Spoiled away.
The other one that I hate to admit endlessly, and Billy, I'm confident, is probably just, having the time of his life if he's watching this, and that is this weird little logo back here on the back of this computer. As much as I absolutely hate Apple products, I used Apple products on and off from the first iPhone. I had that to the 4S, and then the 6, and then I think I had a 6S, and then I have the X. And it was always one of those things where I would use Android for probably like 2 years, all the new Samsung, HTCs, LGs, whatever. And then probably every 2 years I'd switch to an iPhone and be like, oh, do I still hate this? And it was always, yeah, I still hate this. And then last year I switched to the X, and like this was also, I went from a Pixel, and the Pixel I didn't really have any issues with. But Google phones are notoriously unstable. Like you just have apps force close, and it happens. Like maybe once a week you'll have an app force close or something like that. Something weird will happen, right? And Apple always had less of that, but not a lot. And then by the time we've gotten to the X here, like there's just no real issues. The only complaint that I even consistently have is I can't download large apps over data, which is really annoying, and I should totally get that option. But other than that, like so many things make sense. Like my phone and my computer they work in perfect unison. I don't have to send anything from my phone to my computer. Like right now, if somebody were to text me, it comes on my computer. Like I don't have to set that up. I don't do anything. It's just tied to my Apple ID. Like I have the AirPods for work, and if I'm listening to music on my phone on my AirPods, it listens perfectly fine. If I pause it on my phone and I play a YouTube video on my computer, it says, "Do you want to use your AirPods?" Yes, cool. I did nothing. I chose nothing. I selected nothing, and it's just how seamless and how idiot-proof it is. Now, sure, there's a lot of other stuff like power-wise that I miss from Google, and like a lot of like power features that I miss, but like it is just the dumbest, simplest thing. I don't know why. It's just one of those things where like I've always for like a good 10 years been like, you're dumb if you use an iPhone. Yep. iPhones are for dummies, and now I'm like, but man, it's convenient.
Yeah, and that's the only reason why I've ever kept it. The Time Machine, the iMac, the iPhone, the iPad. They all talk to each other, and they've been seamless for as far as I can remember.
Yeah. Now, see, I'll agree actually with that to some extent. The only difference for me, though, is from development.
Oh, I have no doubt.
I begrudgingly, very begrudgingly, will get an Apple device only because the only way to develop for Apple is to develop on Apple.
Well,
the only way you can test on an Apple device is to get a MacBook, pay for an Apple developer license, and then be able to test it on the device.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you standardize it, that's also why you have the least amount of problems, whereas with Android, you've got so many different makes and models now, like you have to cover your bases so much harder.
Not even that. It's just the development process itself. Like, I can develop an Android app on a Mac. I can develop an Android app on a Windows device. I can develop an Apple app on a Linux computer. Or, I'm sorry, Android app on a Linux computer if I want to. I can develop it anywhere I see fit. But on an Apple device, or for an Apple device, for me to develop an iPhone app, I have to do it on that.
To make great things, you have to use great tools.
No.
For me, it's very interesting because, like, it's very odd because, like, it's almost like, I guess it's almost like speaking from, like, a point of privilege or whatever. Like, in the scenario that you're, like, a musician or an artist, I can understand just living in the Mac ecosystem.
Yeah.
Outside of those two spaces, I don't think anyone should live in the Mac ecosystem. I think the Mac ecosystem
still do it too.
Do what?
Content developers too. Still, I mean, like
to an extent, but like to me, like that's where I'm going to get with this. Actually, even like content developers, I would still say no. The Mac ecosystem is the ultimate ecosystem if it doesn't have to be your primary. Like for me, like I have a gaming PC that's Windows that I can do everything I want to do on it and more. And because of that, I don't need this to be everything. This has a specific purpose for me, and it's for quickly editing, moving on the go. I manage this whole podcast from this. We handle notes through this. I use it at work for small editing and small loads and whatnot. But like the purpose in which I use this for, unbelievably amazing. Like it does everything I want to do perfectly. There's no way it could ever replace my computer downstairs. There's no way the trash can Mac Pro coolest version could ever replace my computer downstairs because that computer is my PC and I need my PC to play PC games.
You got to tell me not even the $5,000 iMac Pro.
It's just not supported by everything. That's the issue. And like same thing, like if I were to, I still have an Android phone in my camera bag, oddly enough, that I use. But if I only could have one phone and that was like my one piece of technology, I would still choose Android. But like because I use my phone so insignificantly now, I don't need it. Like it's like a good comp. Like all the Mac stuff is like the best complementary equipment ever. Mm-hmm. But like if it's all you have, I don't think it's the best.
I have no problems whatsoever. When I'm looking at porn on one device, it goes right to the other.
And then
I need a bigger screen. Where's my iPad?
Not specifically that,
Chromecast for
but I'm certain that you could do this. Like right now, like if I were to be on my computer or on my phone, it auto on the bottom left-hand corner is like, hey, you want to open your Safari tabs from your phone? It's like, yeah, I do. I need to save that bookmark.
Chrome has that feature.
That's convenient.
The thing is,
it has your mobile and all, but like it just tells me.
I mean, what I usually use like my laptop for or anything else is usually web surfing anyway. As a normal consumer, I don't really do anything crazy. Yeah. So for me, the seamless action is everything.
Right.
Because when I'm going, like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to school and it's like, no, I left my laptop. Oh, I've got it on my phone. I can take it over to the printer over at school and throw the file in, and it'd be good to go.
That is one thing in hindsight, because through college, we ran out. This is mainly because I was cheap, and Mark remembers my computer. What was my computer's name, Mark? What did we call my laptop?
Jeffy?
Yeah, it was Jeffy. I had a laptop that was a total piece of crap. We called it Jeffy. It couldn't do anything. It was basically...
Why Jeffy?
Because it's a little slow.
Okay. You have a friend named Jeffy?
No, isn't that from the movie The Ringer?
Yeah, The Ringer.
Ringer.
The one where he rigs the Special
I can't
Olympics?
believe it. You've seen another movie that I know I have seen that. That's
Johnny
that's
Knoxville,
Johnny
who rigged the Special
Yeah,
Olympics with Jeffy. That was basically my laptop. And it was like a $400 or $500 really cheap laptop. In hindsight, though, I wish in college I would have used Mac products because of stuff like that. Yeah. Of like how much of a burden it was sometimes to be like, oh, cool, let me check Moodle on Moodle. Was it Moodle?
Moodle, yeah.
Moodle. I would check that on my phone, like, oh man, I got to print this. I got to recheck it here. And I had to do the exact same thing to get the file again. Whereas like right here, I just be like, cool, sent.
Yeah, I had to
solve that problem.
I had a Dell for my first laptop in college, and it worked out pretty well until I literally aged out. It just couldn't keep up anymore.
Jeffy died in a longboarding accident in about 2013.
To be honest, it should have died sooner than that.
Oh, it did die sooner than that. It's just that was its final burial.
I've got I still have actually a 17-inch HP. It was my first laptop. But I never really had an issue with it. I mean, okay, I take it back. I had to send it off once because one of the hard drives was like kind of giving up the ghost. So
you had a nice laptop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I had a completely custom like $1,500 HP like what is it, Pavilion Pro or something.
What's
like
sad
that.
is time point to time point. If you got that same $1,500 to $1,800 laptop today, it would probably be more powerful than this this small mid-size Honda Civic right here.
Doubt.
No. Processing power alone would crush it.
Oh, say my Core i7 or whatever, my quad core i7 at like 2.2 gigahertz. Nah.
No, I'm saying if you got the modern day equivalent of that.
Oh yeah, no.
Like
Oh yeah,
today,
no. That would outperform that. Oh yeah, no. Actually, if I was going to spend that same $1,500, I even if like I could increase it just a slightly bit more, I'd probably end up getting like the cheaper version of the Razer Blade.
Yep. It's just weird how this little logo has that kind of power.
Branding is everything, man.
It's not even the branding. It's just more of like the harmony of OS.
Everything from the packaging all the way down to where this baby just feels so like it's like wiping a baby's hands.
To be fair, Apple's done a lot of things with software that every other company should have done up to this point.
Yeah.
Like Google has their own laptop OS as well as a mobile OS. They should have had some sort of harmony here other than Google Chrome on its own having the ability to be like, all right, well, I'm going to share tabs because you're logged in, on all these devices at the same time. But I still have to rely on like a third-party service if I want to be able to text from my my computer. I used to have to use Pushbullet to do all of that, which is like a third-party app that I pay for.
Android Message.
Now, Android Messages actually has a web app, just like Allo does with Google.
If you authenticate every 15 minutes.
Well, I was about to say, I mean, it just seems like you guys have to struggle so much. No, granted, too, I mean, there's security risk to it as well.
Oh, I mean, it's definitely like I don't even want to talk about like the concept of paranoia here.
Oh
But,
yeah.
To me,
You're
it's just
downstairs, your computer's open, and you're sending
Well-
your girlfriend a message. She pops back, and it shows up on your computer with big old boobies, and your girlfriend's like, "Oh, what's that?" You'd be like, "Wrong number." But
I'd be lying if I said that hadn't happened at work once before.
yeah, dude, I mean, things happen, dude.
Luckily
party
I'm on
naked.
luckily I'm on a Linux computer. I could just switch desktops. Like I looked at it, I was like,
Everclear.
and then he's
Jello
like, I need to
shots,
take my
something like
desktop to the bathroom. Hold on. So, is there anything else you want to bring up for this topic, Jean?
I did. Spark VR.
That's it. Okay.
Well, I mean,
Wasn't sure if you were pocketing something, like a rocket.
Pocket Rocket. It's the silver bullet.
Is
Panty
that that's a
surfer.
Wolverine killer? Okay. Not Wolverine.
vampire.
Vampire?
I think
Werewolf?
it's silver.
Well, are you talking about adamantium bullet?
No, what is a silver?
No,
bullet?
not werewolf.
Oh, the silver bullet's where it goes in and you can control it, intensity and whatnot.
No. He's talking about like you actually had to have a completely silver bullet to be able to kill some particular type of mythical creature.
That would be a werewolf.
Werewolf. Okay.
Why was that so hard? I don't mean that figuratively.
I didn't know if you were legitimately confused with what I meant.
The next topic we wanted to go over this week
Pocket Rocket.
is my topic, and on the discussion we briefly hit upon this earlier, and that's the PlayStation 5's imminent, within 12 months, probably about 14 months release, next year. But they're talking about doing a major is what they quoted it as.
That pizza's gonna be so good.
I was very confused by that. A major hub update for the PSN, so to speak. So I kind of wanted to bring it up. Maybe not necessarily with PlayStation. Maybe not necessarily realistic. What are your expectations for the new PSN hub? And what are your wants? I know we briefly hit upon this.
Yeah.
Some of us really want to live in the Oasis, but
Yeah,
We can
I mean,
bring-
it would be great to get that
Yeah.
PlayStation home feel, where everybody
100%.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, I think it's definitely possible with VR being as strong, and they're pushing VR pretty hard. Not gonna lie, they consolidated pushing Vita out of the way, saying, you know what, we want to concentrate on VR. Start
Not a
pushing
dead
Vita.
console.
Boom. The outdated console that still has games being released on it because
PlayStation 2 does, yeah.
Vita
You're right.
Island, as others have said,
That's
that
the-
I
it's
belong
it's
to.
I was say it's a very lonely island, isn't
It's
it?
not a very lonely island. It's actually a
That's
very
a band.
loyal island.
Are they on a boat?
We would fight for each other and help each other survive through this turmoilous time that is the death of the Vita, unfortunately. But what I want to see is, with the VR, them being much more of a hub base, right? You have your home base, and then you can go somewhere where you can interact, be very social. That would be great. But what a lot of people are speculating right now, especially with the 6.0 updates, there's a lot of hidden features that no one's cracked the code yet. A lot of people think that the name change is going to come with the PS5 instantaneously,
Well,
which
we
would
took-
be a major selling point just from the fact that people have been crying for it.
I don't know why. As soon as he started talking about like a place to visit other people's hubs or whatnot, I was imagining like VR chatting some dude coming in, like, do you know the way?
Do you know the way? The name thing we didn't really talk about earlier, but I was actually thinking about that. If they don't go with PlayStation,
The name?
Yeah.
Why the hell wouldn't they?
I don't know. When they said name change, that's what I was thinking of.
No, name change as in like you
No.
able to change your username.
Yeah. What I was saying was they're considering not doing the numerical PS5
Oh yeah, I
or
mean
PlayStation 5.
Oh,
I
okay.
could
So
see
when
that,
I
but
saw that, I don't. Now, granted, I think they'll do it like something like PlayStation Forever or PlayStation Infinite, or whatever name weird thing like that they go with. But I was thinking in my head of like, what if they just didn't go with PlayStation? What if they just did
That would-
whatever's next?
Or tell me this: what would be the point of having something with a brand name that everyone knows? Everyone from the age of 70 and below.
It's Sony
Knows.
PlayStation.
PlayStation is the name they know.
They
Yeah,
could-
Sony makes it,
I
but
think they
everyone
should
knows
honestly-
what a PlayStation is.
For all the grandmothers out there, I think they should go with Playbox.
No. Xbox, Playbox,
No,
PlayStation.
the problem is the knockoffs already coined that name. You can't
Probably.
take it.
But I mean, there's no real necessary reason for them to change the name. The patterns worked for them. PS1, 2, 3, 4. Now they have had the
4 is
PS4
the evil
Pro,
one.
but it was still under the PS4 name.
And the 4 was also evil.
Evil?
4 is evil in Japan. It's a bad number. It's bad luck.
Well, they went through it anyway,
Right, that's what I was saying.
and
A
it
lot
made
of
them
people,
a bunch of money.
yeah, a lot of people think they were going to go with PlayStation 4.
Well, I mean, 5 doesn't have any real significance, I don't think.
It
either.
doesn't. It doesn't.
So-
4 did, but that's why it was
In
was
luck
interesting.
or bad luck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they will go with
5,
PlayStation
feeling
5.
alive.
I think that you're going to see a lot more kind of like almost
What if they named it PlayStation Home?
applications that have a bunch of different names, not necessarily involving like PS5 this, that, and the what?
Oh, here we go.
What if they named it PlayStation Home
If it was to last forever.
and they brought the Vita back and named it PlayStation Mobile or PlayStation, and not Vita because obviously Vita means life and it's dead as shit.
What world are you living on right now?
I don't know. That'd be cool, right? You got PlayStation Home as your home system. You got your PlayStation Go.
Yeah, but they already
they
had
call
the
it a PSP
Vita
Go?
with a 3G capability, and no one used it.
Well, yeah,
And now you have cell
that's 'cause
phones.
it
There's
was a
no
turd.
reason for it. You would have a PlayStation Mobile Home possible.
PlayStation Mobile Home.
That would be great.
Honestly,
It's just a giant camper that you
No,
tow
no.
around with you. Like,
PlayStation. Hear me out, okay? If you make your new PlayStation Home in VR, okay, and you make it rural Mississippi, trailer park, we all get mobile homes, can fully customize them. I'm down. I'm so down.
Why Mississippi?
I
Why
don't
not
know.
just go straight Arkansas?
I don't know. Mississippi's what I thought about.
Ugh.
I watched a documentary today on how to do accents, and I was listening to a guy from Mississippi. He's very southern, from a very southern town.
Cajun, maybe once you start stepping towards
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Dude, it's hard to understand. What did they call it?
Cajun.
Nowlands.
Is it called Cajun?
Cajun, yeah.
Yeah.
I just called him weird.
Dude, it
They got
sounds.
real good Cajun
it's like
food.
French got like
Molested.
thrown like a ghost pepper got thrown in a French person's mouth, and they're.
Yeah, but have you
I
had
think
their
I
gumbo?
think it stemmed from guys with like mouths with like maybe some cancer because they've had too much dip while they still have more dip in their mouth, so they can't just.
Yeah, but have you had their gumbo?
Yes, and it's
God,
delicious.
their gumbo is so good.
Man, I have to say they know how to spice things up.
They
I
do.
give it to them on that one. But I mean, I do foresee a hopefully a PlayStation Home with the VR. If they're pushing VR this hard and they continue to do so, I think that would be a smart and on their part, giving a community towards it. It actually helps strengthen things, much like the Vita did. There was a very strong Vita community, which is why the retention rate in both game buying and usage was high amongst those who did buy it.
I definitely think the.
Oh, my PSVR died the other day.
It did?
Brent killed it playing Spark.
Like, had to kill it.
I don't know. This is the peripheral box that they use for computing. It just took a crap.
You got a Gen 1 or Gen 2?
Gen
PSVR?
1.
PlayStation, don't do that again.
Yeah, that
You're
was
dumb.
stupid.
You're so dumb. They released a low-key second-gen PSVR and didn't tell anybody. They changed the SKUs in the boxes.
And not only that, but they're talking about coming out with another one that is possibly going to be wireless, and then that's going to not. There's not going to be any backwards compatibility whatsoever for it.
Right.
I mean, the manufacturers do that a lot. Google did that with the Pixel too.
Yeah, but it's more of like, this was like a graphics improvement, changing the way it connects. The little box was different.
Oh,
And then they were basically like,
but they didn't market it that way.
correct. No, everyone was like, oh, that's weird. Best Buy's getting all these new SKUs for PSVR. That's odd. And then they're like, huh, well, all these new bundles are slightly different. Then it's like,
Somebody opens one finally.
oh,
and it's
wow,
like,
this box is different. Oh, wow, that piece is different. Oh, wow, this looks different. Like the buttons on it are in different places. And it's like a decent
it's
change.
a different version entirely.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it that little box just.
Little transceiver dude majigger.
Yeah, I don't know if it helps with computation or just power and power input.
Yeah.
I would assume, but it's also I think control input.
Mark, you've not joined the Dirty Console Peasants in a long time.
Dirty
And-
console piss.
And we know that Steam...
You're dirty.
It's fine.
We
I
know
roll
that
around in mud.
Steam doesn't have a Utopia home. We got VR chat. That's the best thing we got.
Honestly, it's pretty good. There's
it is-
a lot of
it's
memes
not
coming
bad.
out of
It's
it
not
so
bad,
far,
honestly.
so, you know.
There's also Sansar, which I hope comes to PSVR. That's like it's like a world type thing. It's a
Yeah.
world building. I hope that comes to PSVR soon.
That's awesome.
But from a utopian network experience, because we use Discord. Discord sucks.
It's
Discord,
not
you
hard
don't
to
suck.
navigate, I guess a little bit.
But unless you let me pay for a dedicated server so that your service doesn't suck, you suck until then.
Or let me set one up for myself.
I'll give you money.
I have my own
don't
server
care.
hosting. Like I could just pay you for the server software, and then I could just use it.
Any of these options are better than what you give us. Because right now you have to have 10,000 active users to get a
a
dedicated,
dedicated server. Yeah.
server. Dumb. So dumb. But what would you want out of your utopian paradise?
I mean, the easiest one.
Network.
Is a VR system. I mean, obviously, just to be able to walk around. I mean, because you already talked about like your dream PS home anyway. You know, being able to walk in like VR or whatever with a bunch of your friends or something like that, and then walk into like a trophy room where you can showcase all of your plats off. You know,
Not with the trophies. But I mean, I have talked about that. But I'm saying PlayStation Home has already existed.
Yeah.
Without
and
the
then they
trophies.
took it down.
And they took it down.
Right.
But PlayStation Home,
But
you
what
didn't
I'm saying
need
is, like,
VR, which is the cool part.
One
You
of the
could have
things is
both.
that they could expand on it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean, with
100%.
VR being a very big part of the PlayStation ecosystem now, you could very easily do something like that.
110%.
I mean, like even if you didn't do it from a VR perspective, just like virtual characters walking around, it's basically like a giant. I mean, you were talking about like a world system almost or something like that. Like basically, it's PlayStation MMO at that point. You know, like
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Could you imagine being able to go to a restaurant inside, like, there's a
Why didn't
literal
they
city
call
the
it that?
size of a country, and you're like, hey man, let's go over here to
Schlagendash.
Mama Dama Street and
Star
go
Citizen.
and have a meal here or something, and you guys literally are using your VRs to hang out and watch a show or whatever that's actually going on.
If
You
I don't
could
walk
have
into that
someone
restaurant-
build this thing.
If I,
I
don't
mean,
walk
like-
into a restaurant and food gets delivered to my house, then I don't want that.
You probably could. That would
would be
actually
really
be
cool,
an
actually.
awesome service.
I feel like the only ones that could really do that are like major delivery services like Papa John's and Domino's.
No, we got Uber Eats, dog. Grubhub.
Here, yes.
Dude, man, my sister used it the other day, man. That she got wings.
Huh?
Nothing crazy. That lady came over, ran up the steps with a bag, like swinging it, like her life depended on it. She's a big girl, so I know she was really putting some effort.
You got to
into
get
it.
the momentum in there.
And she handed me the bag, was like, "Bye," and ran and started like dodging off to her car again, right? And I'm like, I'm looking at the bag. The sauce, the inside of the bag, that is, by the way, translucent, is orange.
The lady
That's
has some
amazing.
orange on her face.
Like, no, the bag, yeah, it would be freaking hilarious. But yeah, it was just decimated. And then she contacted, what was it? I think it was either Dash
Dine and Dash.
or Uber Eats. I can't remember which one. She contacted them. They're like, "We'll give you $2 towards your next order." I was like, dude, this meal was legit ruined because there was other parts of that meal that the buffalo sauce had no part of.
Neat.
That's the plot twist. See, the buffalo part should be part of all of it.
Yeah, right. But no, it was awful.
But as far as like my own utopia there, very heavy VR influence anyway, just to do some sort of hangout thing.
Yep.
Voice chat's obviously, kind of a requirement, but that's really easy to do with the party system already, so there's really no need for that specifically. But
VoIP.
I don't know. I mean, the ability to share things like that is a neat feature. Like when Netflix app came to Xbox 360s, actually one of the things that I found extremely interesting is that if you partied up with somebody else and you were in the Netflix app, the two of you could literally watch a movie together remotely.
Ooh, I know what
So the idea is, like, if you went with a VR experience, you could literally go in and, like, if PlayStation went this far, you could go in to, like, watch a movie. You're talking about a meal, but, like, you could go in to walk into a theater and sit down in the theater and watch a movie in a VR experience.
And you could look over and see your friend and be like, dude, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
What
Like, that'd be
bothers
crazy.
me so much is that freaking YouTube doesn't do this.
YouTube VR.
No, why does YouTube not do, like, almost like a drive-in theater concept where it's like, hey, we're all three in Discord talking about this video. Let's go watch this video. There's no way that I can host a YouTube session. That to me makes so much conceptual sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, if we
There's
all
too
go...
much traffic. They'd have to dedicate so much.
No, it's the
server
same
to it.
watching, though. Because, like, for example, like, if all three of us click a video individually and we all watch it individually, we're at different times and Mark's 3 seconds ahead of us, so he's laughing and we're like, oh, I know something's going to be funny. We got to pay attention type stuff.
yeah.
The way that Netflix did that one actually is... Oh, well, actually, Netflix didn't do it, if I remember correctly. Netflix just opened the control to Xbox. Xbox actually interfaced the controls so that if one person or the other paused the movie, it paused for both of you at the same time. But then it actually did time synchronization with the apps back and forth.
Well, there's websites where you can go and watch YouTube videos together, but it's like they're all kind of butthole, and it's like YouTube. This is just easy. It's just easy for you.
Yeah.
All you got to do is be like, hey, click this link, and you're gonna go into my channel, and we're gonna watch what I queue, and it's just like Chromecast.
What I
The
really want
world.
is easier sharing amongst the PS4 user or the PlayStation user
1
base. So like if I want to
million
send,
percent. That stupid photo that Brent sent me the other day, I tried to check on my phone. It wouldn't let me see it on my phone, so I had to check it on my PlayStation.
yeah,
And then when I checked on my PlayStation, I didn't even know that you had commented back on it. And it was like, I think the PlayStation's concept of the social media is fascinating. I also am a very big fan of it because I don't want to post my 25-0 game on Call of Duty to my Facebook
Yeah.
for my grandmother to comment on. I would much
Which
rather.
you can control down to a specific lining, but it's like just really
You can't, but, like,
obtuse.
and it's also like just to see the things you posted or like on like the wall thing or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a burden and it's weird. I just don't
Yeah.
like it.
I know.
Jesus.
It's like put
Interesting
into
idea
this,
to
like,
expand a
neck
little
reverse.
past that.
MySpace partnership. Boom.
Yeah.
Talking about home, like specific homes. You have your own spaces. Clan homes.
Yeah, I mean,
Group clan homes. You
Yeah.
know, like
Oh,
even
totally.
like even something like because I was just thinking like so, like you were talking about like leaving pictures on a wall or something like that, and I was like, what if I had to need to leave a note for somebody? Like you tack a note on a fridge for somebody like if you need to leave it. And I was like, group home. Like
You don't
like,
even need
that
to do
just
that
sounds like
because
the
then
old
you're
man's
putting
home
everything
for your
into one
friends.
centralized area. What I'm talking
dudes in white
about
suit-
is
white
like
suits
let
walking
me
around.
just upload
Yeah.
the videos into a file that says, "Hey, here's my Spider-Man video." I'm putting it into the Spider-Man file that all of these people who I've already cleared have access to, and I'm like, "Hey, Brent, go check out that file," and I could text him, message him, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, go check this one out I just did over at Spider-Man. Like I have put Twitter's fine. Twitter you can trim it down really reasonably, and it's easy to upload.
Yep.
The Facebook one is so much more obtuse, and it's just stupid. Which is actually one of the main reasons I was totally okay with making a Twitter account because it was that much easier to
Right.
deal with.
For what you're saying, Optic Gaming did something like that. Now, granted, theirs is much more of like a fanfare type thing, not necessarily a closed type thing. But I dreamed of that from a closed type concept of like being like,
I mean, we dream about it in real life too, but like,
yeah,
the idea of having a virtual one is equally as enjoyable. Anyway,
Yeah.
I mean,
and I mean it's super cool because like I'll show you guys after this because you don't need to be in VR for the Optic one or whatever. It just you can do stuff in it
Right.
and actually interact.
but that's the idea is you don't have to be, but VR
Yeah.
makes it a better experience.
But that you can also do group watching streams. They're doing meet and greets and Q&As inside of VR there, and it's like, God, this is so easy. Anybody could do this.
Yep.
Or like have a game like Spark, or
Look at that
even
text
absorb
messages on
Spark
my
or
Mac.
something, and be like, dude, let's meet up and go play Spark over at the home. You put your VR on, you're going through, you're walking around, you go over to the gym or the arcade, and then you meet up with your buddy
play
real quick.
Spark.
You play
Very-
Spark.
Very Ready Player One esque.
I don't
Yeah.
know why you said rudder, and I was like, why are we going back there?
Ready Player Rudder. Rudder Player One.
What I've always kind of thought as well, to your point, Mark, is that like it's getting to the point now where Star Citizen definitely ruined my mentality for this. It used to be back in the day of me being like, oh, cool. It would be cool if all the sports games combined, because physics engines are roughly the same. Like, Madden and FIFA probably use similar engines, so like I could understand like you putting in a game where it's like, hey, you're a little kid, you want to be a football player or a baseball player or a soccer player, and you can kind of play all of them as a kid, then you go pro in one, right? That game to me made sense as a kid. Now, because of Star Citizen, I just think about like, PS Home, we can just throw a flight sim in there. You got to fly to your places. You just go ahead and, what's that PlayStation driving game? Not Gran
Crew?
Turismo. Not the Crew. Drive Club.
Drive Club. Yep.
You put Drive Club on there. You got your Drive Club just built in. It's not the craziest.
Test drive, something like that.
It's not as cool as your Gran Turismo. That's a better game. But you got your Drive Club on there. It's like in your little hub world.
It's a Grand Theft Auto.
You got Little Big Planet Hub. Yeah, basically, Grand Theft Auto could just be your hub world,
Yeah.
except for like where Grand Theft Auto is limited in the sense of like the apartment building. Everyone has the exact same looking apartment buildings in Grand Theft Auto. Just let me customize it like in PlayStation Home. I can, ring John on up. We can see my view from the 23rd floor, and he can see my cool God of War poster on the wall and my Call of Duty montage playing on the big screen, and we have a good time.
Dude, you sit there and have clubs where you just like, all right, man. Yeah, you go around, dance around, have fun, no big deal. Or even like, specific clubs, like you said, Drive Club, and then you're hanging out with people, or you want to go hang out with people that are playing God of War or want to talk about it. You go into that room and you can have a community chat.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of branching off, like, as far as, like, then the gaming consoles, so more becoming more of a social space than necessarily just a gaming space.
Yeah, it's
Right, but
becoming
I mean,
more
that's the
social
concept,
with the
like-
uploads of Twitters and Facebook vids.
Yeah, that was the concept, like, when I started playing, because I mainly played on 360 through that console generation, because 360 is where Call of Duty was.
Yep.
But PlayStation, I thought
What
was,
was that?
like, so cool, because, like, I mean, it was free to do all the online stuff. And this PlayStation Home thing was free, and it's, like, cool, I can, like, go check out new God of War stuff. There's a theater, I can go play pool or whatever. Now, granted, none of this stuff was, like, it was nowhere near as good as, like, a billiards game or whatever, but,
Right.
like, cool, it gets the job done. And, like, now I'm thinking about, like, I want to show you this cool Spider-Man clip, and it's, like, so unintuitive to look at and see and view and talk about. Whereas, like, if it was, like, in PlayStation Home, and you're like, hey, check this out, and I just press a button, and then, like, No one else in the little world could see it. I just get to watch a little YouTube video of John doing something weird. I'm like, that's cool, man. I just can press a button and be like, yeah, John, that was real cool, bud. And then you just get a voice message. Boom.
The thing that kills me is you cannot watch a video, but you can see a photo that was taken and share it with friends, but you can't do a video.
Yeah.
Why?
Good reasons.
It's so dumb. You could
But
literally
I know every
you have
trophy
an
you get-
entire photo editor, but I can't send this thing to anything but a social media site.
And what's weird is no matter what happens, for some odd reason, whenever you and Brent get trophies, it'll be like, John just got the trophy, Spidey senses. And I'm like, all right, it's cool. I don't care.
Should have seen. Did you see that video uploaded to Twitter?
Hmm.
Oh my god, it was great. It said
Was-
Spidey's an asshole because
I see it.
I just got done throwing a freaking sewer drain cap at this dude's face, and you literally hear it hit him in the face, and then you hear his head hit the brick wall. And then I turn around, and there was a guy webbed to a bunch of stanchions. I stopped, looked at him, pulled it down, and pulled the stanchions. He just
Wow.
pulled out his face.
Who's the worst? For me, though,
very
Now I,
heroic to me.
now I understand why.
for me, the one thing that I think the PlayStation Hub world needs, in my opinion, is full PC support and/or integration.
Yeah.
Like if they do this VR thing, like you have to work with PC.
Yeah.
Like if you just take Sansar, or I may be pronouncing that wrong, but if you just take the Sansar thing and just legit either be like, hey, we're gonna partner, or B, we're gonna copy you. That's it. Because then on PC, I can go to these little utopian worlds. I can hang out. And, like, the other thing that kills me is, like, PlayStation, Xbox, I know you like your chat systems. PSN, I know you like your little party chat thing.
Mhm.
Xbox, I know you believe in live. They suck. They do. They really suck. Discord's better than you. TeamSpeak's better than you. Let them be on those systems.
We just railed Discord, and we're actually telling you that yours sucks worse.
Right.
Well, they can't control that.
What do you mean? They totally can. If you can put Spotify music on there, I'm confident you can put a voice coming through.
Not
You
that
just-
they can't. Is that they can't really control what Discord allows and doesn't allow, I guess.
No, I'm saying they just need to partner with them.
Yeah, I
and
was gonna
allow them
say,
to
they-
have an app.
I
I'm
have no
confident
doubt Discord would be like, yeah, absolutely, for like some partnership fees here. Yeah, absolutely, we'll sponsor all your
I don't
chat.
think they'll
Yeah.
do that. I think they'll do it for free. It's free on PC.
Yeah, dude, they get a bunch of people on Discord. Yeah, they love that.
Yeah, that's what kills me. Your chat sucks. You make billions of dollars probably.
Why
Fix
does
it.
the chat suck, though? I use it all the time. I don't have a problem.
It's limited number of people, and also the separation of party and chat volume. It's just super unintuitive.
Yeah.
Like you can choose which one prioritizes, but you can't like choose levels easily.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, it is very... I mean, there's a bar at which you can play with it.
You
but
have 2
it's-
bars, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
How high do I want my whole volume? How high do I want my party volume?
See, the other thing for
Yeah.
me too, that means there's
Yeah.
cross-platform
You
communication.
can be playing
there
on
too.
PC. I can be on PS4.
Yeah, exactly. Like we
Yeah.
don't even need to
Even if
necessarily
it's a
communicate
PS
across the same game. I just want to be able to talk to my buddy while he's playing PlayStation. I'm playing on PC. Like Dylan's an example, or I guess a bit of an exception here, because Dylan has his PlayStation and his PC
I don't
on
use
the
y'all
same desk.
You.
Like
Yeah.
he'll use Discord to talk to people because he has his PC right there on one monitor while his PlayStation's in front of him.
I'll use Discord instead of using PlayStation Chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's also because when you're in PlayStation Chat, another thing that's terrible about it is like blackout, right? If you're playing me and Mark are playing blackout on PlayStation, we're in a party together and we're in a PlayStation party chat together because we don't want to not talk to each other between games because that's weird. So we're in a party chat and you and Brent are not in a party chat and you guys are just in the public game. Y'all two can talk to each other, but we can't talk to you because we're in a party. Stops the audio from the thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on. I want to harass this man. He's over here doing weird stuff. I
All
want
the
to tell
time.
him about it. You could even make a PlayStation app on PC and solve this problem. There's
you
lots
only
of
knew the
ways to
real
solve
me.
this. Or Xbox, same thing. I just went cross-eyed trying to see what that little white dot was. Oof, that hurt my head.
Well, I mean, it can all be solved. Hopefully, they do increase their options.
2 things you want Sony to do. Go. What are your 2 bullet points? 2
I want
takeaways.
Sony to bring back folding at home.
Folding at home.
Yeah, remember that thing we told you about where they fold the molecules and everything? I don't even care if they bring that back. I just want
They
the
fold
song.
the molecules back?
Oh, you mean like whenever your PlayStation's sitting idle, you can use processing power? Okay, yeah. I mean, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it with PC already. I didn't know PlayStation ever had a feature for that. Actually,
Yeah, they
That's
shut
pretty
it
cool.
down because they shut down the project. They weren't doing it anymore, so they weren't. They had
So
disconnected the servers.
Tap into the other open source ones. There's tons of them out there.
No, the
Okay,
PlayStation
so
game.
you got Folding Molecules.
I want Folding Molecules.
What's your second
I
one?
just want the song. I don't really care about
What's
it.
your second one?
I want PlayStation Home. Come back.
PlayStation Home back. What are your 2 bullets?
With all the things we talked
VR
about.
homes, like
VR hubs?
specifically like group homes, that kind of thing. Where you can share. I know it sounds bad every time,
Yeah.
but the big thing is like group homes and the ability to like I guess share a space with other people.
Sharing is caring.
And then very specifically content sharing, be able to do movies together, videos together, photos together, that kind of thing.
Totally agree.
Yep.
Sounds
Do you
awesome.
think that they would have
Much
to
more
monitor
seamlessly anyway.
everything going on within those?
No, let them be.
Yeah, that's what that's my one worry is they're going to over monitor that and it's going to become something unusable.
Never. My 2 things are, one, I think PC support is a huge thing for me. In the sense of it can be an application. It can literally be a PlayStation application on PC. Or you could partner with a Steam or whatever else you want to do.
Yep.
But I think PC support both from a chat perspective and just a user interface perspective, because like the PlayStation Store on the PC sucks. Not that the PlayStation Store on PS4 is a lot better, but they both suck. Do better. And then the other big thing for me is just like unifying everything, whether it being most likely a PlayStation Home, but having like when I log in, I want to go to a hub. I don't want to go to a menu. I'm tired of menus. I think that's a very weird thing, but like something about Steam's VR Home just feels right,
Yeah.
Yep.
You're in this like room and it's like, cool, I touch this screen and I go into my game, or I can, look off into a pretty sunset of
Like,
the Halo ring or whatever.
Yeah, it's a menu, but the difference is you're kind of in this space that you're in.
Yeah.
to
Please be
get to the
highly
next level.
customizable. If they create this thing where you have your own room, your own space, please make it customizable, or at the very least, open source it to where people
But
can make things.
you don't want to not be able to change your theme colors for what, 3 years of a console?
Yeah, gee, let me that's what worries me is that you took forever just to get decent looking backgrounds.
Don't worry, and you're still Ballbuster 69 from 2007, because you can't change your name.
I
One
chose
day.
actually a good name. I didn't choose no crappy name. So
What
I
is
don't
your
worry
name? I
about
don't even know what
Keep
your
it
name.
one.
It is that what it is. Okay.
I'd really want to get rid of my 360 freak on Xbox just because,
You can
Lot-
change that.
no, a lot of people would split it at the wrong set of words there. Like, my 360 freak is for 360 freak. Like, freak has always, been like the suffix on all of my gamer tags.
Mhm.
Except people would split it at the 36 space O freak part.
36 freak. Like it's o'clock, like 36 o'clock or something.
No. Like,
Just-
it's 3 6s.
Oh, I like it.
No. See, I didn't know about that until I was in chat with somebody else on Halo 4 one time, and he was like, 360 freak. What are you, a devil worshiper or something?
That's amazing.
Wow,
I was like, oh, come
man.
That's amazing. Well, as
The thing-
always,
Sorry. Go ahead.
good. Very good.
The sound of your piss hitting the urinal, it sounds feminine. You can go do what you gotta do.
What?
I couldn't do aiming for the bushes, so I did a different one.
I'm so confused.
He's
I
trying
don't
to
know.
talk about peeing, aiming for the bushes.
The sound of your piss hitting the urinal, it sounds feminine.
Is that from a movie?
Yes.
Okay.
The same movie, as a matter of fact.
What is the movie?
The other guys.
Okay. I thought it was Step Brothers was my guess. Nope. Anyway,
You should watch that movie. You get a lot of this, and you would actually have a lot more fun.
maybe.
I
Every
think we have a
single
lot more fun with him being in the dark.
probably.
Yeah.
Every single week, we like to go over our news section, our topics, our important things and stuff, and what that. And as well as we like to cover some cool little unique topics for your discussion. We'll have all of our news articles and everything linked down in the description below, as long as our social media handles and whatnot as well. Anything you'd like to see us talk about in the future, please feel free to let us know down in the comments section also. And anything we got wrong, because it's probably about half of it, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Good man.
100%.
I want to hear what you guys have to say a lot about what you want from this PS, quote unquote, 5 or PS Infinite.
See, PS4 could have been PS Forever so well. 'cause,
Then they
you
would have
know-
been wrong.
Well, I meant, like, the number 4, forever.
Yeah.
It could have went so well. Now, PlayStation 5, I don't know what you got going here.
I don't know either. We'll find out.
Yeah,
Tell us what you want to see with the new PlayStation coming out, and please check out that new artwork from the new studio for Tokyo. Yeah, Tokyo. There we go. Got it. Check them out. It's really cool. I think you guys will end up liking those the new stuff that you want to see coming out from these new developers, new things, new IPs.
It's not going to be on Switch first.
It won't because it's PlayStation. And it's not PlayStation.
They'll
I'm
port
just
it like
kidding.
2 years later, won't they?
It's not just PlayStation.
They'll port it later. Don't worry.
They favor PlayStation.
Port.
That's Switch.
Mark, you know what we're not gonna do?
What's that?
We're not gonna aim for the bushes, but we will see you later.